Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Massive development breaking today regarding the future of Philippine basketball, specifically the road map for Gilas Pilipinas, as we head into the most critical stretch of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. If you thought the original 12 lineup was set in stone, think again. The Samahang Basketballing Pilipinas, or SBP, has confirmed a significant shakeup is looming. We are talking about 2 to 4 confirmed replacements in the roster, a strategic overhaul led by Coach Tim Kahn, and a looming rematch against the giant of Oceania, Australia, and New Zealand right here on our home soil. This ISN is just a minor tweak. This is a calculated response to the heartbreak of the recent FIBA Asia Cup campaign. The goal is clear: defend the home court at all costs. With the NBA season potentially keeping Australia's biggest stars away and a new, taller, more versatile Healers lineup taking shape, the question isn't just who are the replacements. The question is, do we definitely have a formula to take down the Giants? We are breaking down the roster changes, the schedule analysis, and the tactical adjustments that could define this era of Gilas basketball. Let's get into it. Now, let's take a deep dive into what this news actually means for the national team program. To understand where we are going, we have to look at context of where we just came from. The catalyst for this entire restructuring is a performance in the FIBA Asia Cup by the admission of SBP Executive Director Eric Adai and echoed by the sentiments of the coaching staff. The results fell short of expectations. Specifically, the failure to reach the semifinals was a wake-up call. Coach Tim Kahn, a tactician who prides himself on preparation and execution, has reportedly acknowledged that the current configuration faced limitations that need to be addressed before the World Cup qualifiers intensify. This brings us to the core of the update, the roster shakeup. For months, the narrative surrounding Gilas Pilipinas under Tim Kahn has been about continuity. The concept of the original 12 was supposed to be the bedrock of the program. A group of players who would grow together, build chemistry, and execute a seamless system over years, not just weeks. However, the reality of international competition is fluid, and the SBP has confirmed that adjustments are now underway. We are looking at air attention of roughly 8 to 10 players from that original core. That means a majority of the system remains intact, preserving the chemistry that has already been built. But the changing off-flow to 4 players is significant. In a 12-man rotation, changing a third or quarter workforce is a major systemic shift. Why is this happening? It is about addressing specific holes revealed during the Asia Cup. We need to look at what those 2, the 4 new slots represent. It's not just about bringing in better talent. It's about bringing in the right fit for the system. The speculation regarding who is out and Hoyes is intense. But if we look at the names floating around the program, we can start to see the vision. We are looking at a potential infusion of size and shooting. The mention of names like Jordan heading into conversation is crucial. In the modern international game, spacing is everything. You need guys who can stretch the floor to allow your bigs operate. And speaking of bigs, that is where the most exciting developments are happening. Think about a front court rotation. We are looking to deploy against New Zealand and Australia. We are talking about a healthy June Marijardo, the anchor of Philippine basketball. Pair him with a constantly improving Caicedo. The reports indicate Kai is getting wider, getting stronger, and his body is maturing to handle the physicality of the international game. But it doesn't stop there. You add AJ Edu into that mix. When healthy, Edu is perhaps the most versatile defensive anchor we have. Someone who can switch on the guards and protect the rim with elite efficiency. Now consider the younger guns. We have Kevin Kamau and Carl Tamayo. Kama specifically is a revelation. He is a forward with the passing ability of a point guard, a unique weapon that allows Tim Kahn to run the triangle or preferred motion offenses with big man initiating the action. This kind of versatility is exactly what was missing in previous iterations of the team. If you add these young guns to a core that includes veterans like Dwight Ramos, who remains a glue guy of this team, and potentially a naturalized player like Justin Brownlee, or perhaps even Jordan Clarkson depending on availability, the ceiling of this team shifts dramatically. Let's talk about the schedule, because this is where the home court narrative becomes a story. The SBP has confirmed a 3-game stretch that could define our standing in the region. It starts with an away game technically, or a neutral ground battle against Guam, on November 28th. But then the team comes home on December 1st. We're back in Manila. Then looking ahead to February, we host New Zealand at the Arona Coliseum on the 26th, followed by big one, the rematch against the Australian Boomers on March 1st. This homestand is absolutely critical. Playing at the Arona Coliseum or the Mall of Asia Arena gives Healers a tangible boost. The six-man affect Israel. But beyond the crowd, there's a strategic element here regarding our opponents. Let's analyze the Australian match. Australia has been a hurdle we cannot seem to clear. They are the gold standard in the Fibro-Asia region. However, the timing of this March 1st game is interesting. It falls smack in the middle of the NBA season. The Australian basketball program is incredibly deep. Yes, but their team of the squad loaded with NBA like Josh Giddey, Dyson Daniels, Matisse Thybulle, and others will likely be unavailable. They will be locked into their NBA commitments as teams push for playoff seeding in America. This means Australia will likely send a Team B or a team composed of NBL stars and European-based players. Now, do not get me wrong, an Australian Team B is still a world-class team. They are physical, disciplined, and fundamentally sound, but they are beatable. We have seen that the gap narrows significantly when the NBA superstars are removed from the equation. If Healers can field a lineup featuring a towering front line of Sato, Edu, and Fardo, flanked by Theple making a Kamau, and a scoring bunch of guys like Heading Oramos, we have the size to match them. For the first time in a long time, we might not be giving up a massive height advantage. The same logic applies to New Zealand. The tall blacks are known for their haka, their intensity, and their physical rebounding, but we have beaten New Zealand before. It is a difficult task, but it is not impossible, especially on our home floor. The key will be matching their physicality. Tease this where the roster adjustments come into play. At the SBP and Coach Tim Khan are indeed bringing in 2 to 4 new players. You can bet that defensive toughness and rebounding will be high on the priority list. We cannot afford to get bullied in the paint. There's also the guard rotation to consider. The mention of Dal Pinocchio is interesting. A guard who can facilitate, score, and defend is always a luxury. In international play, the pressure on the ball handler is immense. Having multiple ball handlers, not just one dominant point guard, is the trend. We need players who can break the press, initiate the offense, and knock down the open three when the defense collapses on Kai or June March. The narrative here is shifting from participation to contention. The admission of failure in the Asia Cup was painful, but it was necessary. It forced the management to look in the mirror and realize that loyalty to the original 12 cannot come at the expense of winning. If there are better options available, if there are players who fit the system better or who are in better form, they need to be on the floor. The integration of these new pieces needs to happen fast. Chemistry is not built overnight. That is why the upcoming windows are so crucial. It isn't just about winning the games against Guam. It is about finding the rhythm for the new rotation before the Giants Commodore Town in February and March. So, as we look ahead, the picture is becoming clearer. The Gilas Philippines that will step onto court in the coming months will look different. It will likely be bigger, younger in some spots, and hopefully more cohesive. The retention off the core 8 to 10 players ensures aren't starting from scratch. But the injection of 2 to 4 new talents ensures we aren't stagnant. This is a pivotal moment. The crowd will be there. The talent is there. The coaching pedigree with Tim Cohn is there. Now it comes down to execution. Can we defend home court? Can we finally get that signature win against Australia or New Zealand that proves we belong in the upper echelon of world basketball? The pieces are moving on the board. That checkmate is up to the players. We will be tracking every roster announcement, every training camp update, and every piece of news coming out of the SBP. But for now, the message is clear. The status quo is over. Changes are coming. And they are coming with the singular goal of, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.